Welcome back everyone to the first recording in the new office. This one we actually have better climate controls. It won't be 80 to 90 degrees in here. Here's a shot of all of our fun pile of parts in the back that need to be worked on. Have a lot more room in here and going to make sure I have all this equipment set up correctly. It looks fine right now, but let me know in the comments if anything sounds or looks off, other than my disgusting voice. So what we're going to be working on today, especially since the Analogue 3D should be coming out soon, is a Nintendo 64 controller. This was actually the main one that I used when I was a kid. And you always have this issue where these sticks just kind of went all garbage on here. Too much play in there. So we'll be upgrading it to a Hall effect joystick. We'll also be cleaning up the controller and making it look a little nicer. So what we're going to do is flip this beast over, and then the normal iFixit kit that I use won't really work on it, so I have a nice Cobalt Phillips screwdriver. You actually need one that can reach longer into some of these holes on here, especially into this one in the middle. So what we're going to do first is remove these 7 Phillips screws around the outside. So let me know in the comments if you're going to be getting an Analogue 3D. I've been looking forward to it, even though it got delayed like twice, but eventually it will come out. It's supposed to be by the end of this month, so we'll see if that actually happens. Definitely ready to see how some of the games look on it. And some of the other features they talk about. They haven't shown any videos of features, but we will see how things actually happen. As soon as I get mine, I will be making a video of it. We'll even take it apart and just kind of show everything about how it works and test it with real games and fake games and test out the new controllers that it has with it. All sorts of fun stuff with it. And test out this controller on it. So we have our screws undone. That looks like all 7. We will put those to the side. Some of those will need to be cleaned off a little bit. We need a small Phillips screwdriver for these 2 little screws that are in here. So we'll just undo those 2 screws. This slot got used a decent amount for me as a kid for putting Pokemon Yellow into Pokemon Stadium. Got both of those screws out of there. Okay, now we can grab this and then just lift it right up. Oh, that's kind of gross, all that nice gunk in there. Just set that to the side to get it all cleaned up. And then for this, we have these 4 screws here to undo with our tiny screwdriver. At least they make it kind of easy with this part. It's the silver screws are on the outside and the black screw is right in the middle. We'll actually leave the black screw in there for now. Then we'll lift the cord out of here, and then this all lifts right up to reveal all this nice crust that a kid from the 90s would leave on a controller. Take all these silicones out of here, and then pop the buttons on out. There we go. Have our nice empty shell there. So what we're going to start with is taking a Clorox wipe to both parts of the shell, then set those aside so they can dry while we work on cleaning the other parts. So we want this thing feeling brand new. See if we can get some of this gunk off here. I don't even know what it is. I probably had fun with a permanent marker with this at some point. We used to write our last names on some of our video games, so I wouldn't be surprised if I got gunk on here from that. Oh, it's actually coming off. Yeah, this is the controller I have been using lately. One of the Hyperkin wireless ones. It works really well. But I'm excited about replacing the stick in this one and being able to use it again. We'll get all the gunk out from around where it seals together. It's pretty gross right along there. Too bad I trimmed my fingernails. Would have been easier to get in this crease here. Okay, that part of the shell's looking good. I'm gonna grab the back part of it and get this one cleaned up too. This one is pretty dusty. Doesn't seem as gross as the other one was though, or the other side of the shell. Have some gunk in this little part where it seals together on this one too. Just make sure we get all of that out of there. Need to have the controller clean enough that I can eat off of it. We'll get this button popped out of here and then there we go. Get this area cleaned out. Probably a bunch of gunk buildup from like, I don't know, Vienna sausage juices or something. Get our surface cleaned up here. It got a little gross. Okay, that is definitely looking a lot better now. Once again, we'll touch that up with Q-tips and isopropyl alcohol. But now it's time for all these fun little buttons. These I usually go over with a Clorox wipe also, and then finish cleaning with the isopropyl alcohol. Z button's looking really good now. L button's good. Hey, let me know what your favorite games for Nintendo 64 are. I used to play a whole bunch of GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, Diddy Kong Racing, and Mario Kart 64. And Smash Brothers. Lately, I've been more Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie. Can't go wrong with good old platformer games. R button was pretty gross, but it's looking good now. Makes sense the R was gross, but the L wasn't, just because I would normally hold the controller. Okay, we have that. Have an A button here. That is not bad. B button is not bad either. Start. And then each of these C buttons. Okay, all the buttons there are wiped off now. Move those and dry this area off a bit. And now we'll move on to our isopropyl alcohol. Use at least 91%. And then Q-tips. Have my little shot glass of the alcohol here. We'll start by cleaning these silicones. They do not look bad. I've seen way worse than this. Just kind of go along here, get it all nice and decrustified. You should go over the bottom quickly too. That one's good. The directional pad one. Just kind of go around that, get the center part, and then get the tops of these cleaned off. Flip it over. The side's not that bad. I usually do a quick wipe of the contacts on here also. Sometimes they can have some pretty gross debris on them. And then for all the buttons. Little dirty, but not too bad. And then get the tops of those. And then this side. Oh, those silicones look good. The directional pad will give a little bit of touch up here, because the Clorox wipes can't get some of these spots as well on the sides. The other buttons all seem pretty good. So I'll just get the shell back in here and touch up a few of these spots that couldn't really get the Clorox wipe that well. Like right around the Z button area. Yeah, this part of the shell usually isn't that bad. Just the R and the L buttons, and then the Z button. That's the main spot on here. Never hurts to get the little accessory slot cleaned out pretty well. And then since the screws go in back here, I always do a nice little wipe out inside each of these screw holes. Because some of them over time can get pretty gross. Like this one right here. Okay, that is looking pretty good. We will touch up the front part of the shell now. Mainly all of these little areas where the buttons go need to be cleaned up. Get some nice scrubbing in each of those. Okay, and then the start button spot. Then we'll just touch up around the edge of here, and then get any of these other little areas that might still have some gunk in them. Then we flip it over and make sure we get the rest of this spot around the directional pad, and then anywhere else that we may have missed with a Clorox wipe. That's looking pretty good. Then on this controller, we'll get some alcohol on this and just kind of scrub inside these cracks on here. I don't know what else they're called, but not really a crack controller, but they're just spots that like to build up a bunch of gunk. Those are good. A Nintendo logo. Let's get that wiped off. Okay, that is good. So now is the exciting part. Get this popped open. The Hyperkin Hall Effect joystick. Oh, I get a sticker. If I put that on my Nintendo 64, it will be twice as fast. We'll pop this out of here. Has that adapter. That'll definitely look nice on there. Now what we're going to do is flip this over and remove this old one. So right here where it's plugged into the blue spot, we will just, there we go, grab that and pull that out. And then this pad back here, we just pop this open and that comes out. And then we've removed our old worn out joystick. It's still in decent shape, so it'll probably go in a parts bin. And then you probably guessed the next part. Get some more isopropyl alcohol and get these pads all cleaned up. Have this one here. Then we have the L and the R button ones. That one had some junk on it. And then while we have it like this, we'll get all these areas wiped up. Just make sure there's good contact with no gunk or anything on it. Which it seems pretty clean in here, but it never hurts just cleaning these up a bit. So then we'll flip this back over. Let's look at this. Just use a can of air really fast just to make sure everything is out of here. It did not look bad at all, and nothing really came out, so I think we are good with that. So then the new Hall effect one, we'll flip that over, move this out of the way. This little part will just clip right back in here. There, just clips in at those sides there. And then we'll flip this cord over and slide that on into this connector. There we go. Make sure that's all popped in everywhere. That seems good. We'll just kind of move that to the side. Let's start putting everything back together now. We have our hundreds of buttons here. Luckily everything is shaped correctly on here. Even the C buttons on here, they all have specific little tabs that go into different areas. So it's like a puzzle you get to do to put this back together. Then we have the B and the A buttons and our directional pad. I always find this interesting about the directional pad. It's actually sloped. So if you see on there, it's taller on this end than it is on this end. Get that in place. Then we'll get each of our silicones put on top of here. And then the start button one, and then the one for 6 buttons over here. Then we'll take this and stick our new analog stick down in there. That is coming undone. Okay, that all slides in place. Then the 3 silver screws removed earlier go right back in here. Oh, and this one has a silver screw in the center one instead of a black screw. There, we have those done. Have to make sure our R and L buttons are assembled in here correctly. They just need to slide in these little containers up here. And then the buttons themselves just kind of sit in place up here. And this cord, it actually kind of wraps around strangely. You need to send it between these 2 pillars here, and then it snakes on down and then comes up through the top. So there's a good look at how the cord gets set up in here. And then make sure you pop it in between those 2 little pillars sticking up. Then with taking the back of the shell, have our Z button, we flip it over, kind of stand it up right here and slide that in there, and then it just plops on down. And then back to the front of the shell, we apply the back of the shell. Make sure the accessory slot lines up well on there. If I can get that scraped off. It's almost scraped off. Some sort of white paint. Then we'll put the 2 screws in here first, and then we'll be able to do the rest of the screws. First one's done. Second one's done. Now with our other screws, some of them have kind of gross looking tops. I'm just going to wipe each of them off and then place them inside their correct little homes. Then with each of the screws in their homes, going to screw them on in. Then we get the most exciting part of this. Not the part of playing it, but the part of cleaning a little bit more. Those are all screwed in place now. Actually going to try again to see if I can get this removed. I think alcohol did the trick. And then with our controller looking nice, grab one more Clorox wipe, and we will get the cord and the connector. I usually just go over the cord like this. If it leaves any gross residue by in here, then I'll go over it like a second or a third time, which that wasn't as bad as I've seen. Get the connector part cleaned up, and then run over the cord one more time. Then with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol and a Q-tip, we'll get in here in the connector area. Or if you have anything like toothpicks or any of these little weird scrubby type things, almost like a straw type cleaner, pipe cleaner, whatever they call them, just kind of get in here between each of these connectors and to the sides of them. Okay, I think that is pretty good. And then with our nice Hall effect joystick on here, if you watch any of the other Nintendo 64 videos, then you will have seen this reshell. This is what we'll use for testing this out. I have not played Jet Force Gemini yet. I just got it and just got it cleaned before this video. Get that plugged in. We have our little screen up, and let's see what happens. This is actually the Nintendo 64. Let me turn some of these lights off here. We actually have an ultraviolet LED on down here. There's save data in here. Of course, I need to go in and erase this. Oh, that's a weird keyboard layout this has. Yeah, this controller's moving just fine in here. It actually feels really good with the movement, how it is. I would have grabbed GoldenEye if I knew it'd take this long to actually get to gameplay. I think I'm getting close to a spot where I can actually play. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, that motion is really good on this. Yoda, you seek Yoda. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this replacement for that. So if you have a Nintendo 64 controller where the analog stick has a whole bunch of play in it, then I would definitely recommend this Hall effect replacement. This was Hyperkin. It's around $15. I got it from Handheld Legend. I will leave a link in the description. There are some from XYAB also, but I'm not as familiar with that brand. I know Hyperkin makes decent stuff, so it is a brand that I know I'm happy with. And especially with the Analogue 3D hopefully actually coming out soon, something like this will be useful for you. If you have any questions or anything, then feel free to leave them in the comments and I will answer them the best I can. Since we have moved to this new office, then I will be able to get more videos done more often, so that's going to be fun. We have things like the Sega Master System that I started on last year and got stuck at a spot. I will finish up that one. I have a Magnavox Odyssey 2, which was actually the last video I was working on before moving to the new office. Even a Super Famicom cleaning, that's going to be another fun one. So some exciting things coming up soon. If you enjoy that kind of stuff, then make sure to subscribe and leave a thumbs up on this video, and I want to thank you for watching. Have a nice day.
Thanks for watching our show today. We hope you smiled along the way. From pixel dreams to jokes we play. Like and subscribe, it's the thing to do. Join the crew, red, white, and blue. Gumptendo.